Good day, everyone. You're welcome to today's live stream. Please confirm you can hear me loud and clear. Confirm you can hear me loud and clear. I was trading yesterday. If you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. If there's any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section what pair you want me to analyze. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Drop a comment if you can hear me loud and clear. Also confirm you can see my screen. Also confirm you can see my screen. So let's start by looking at the fundamentals for today. Today is 26th of August, and I think the only major news we have is coming from Canada. The Bank of Canada governor will be speaking by 7:30 p.m. Nigerian time, 7:30 p.m. That's the only major news that will be released today. Okay, so let's go to the chart. So we'll start by looking at yen basket. So let's start with the daily time frame on yen. So yesterday, you can see how yesterday candle closed. It was strongly bearish yesterday. So we had the high and the low of yesterday candle is an area of liquidity. And what has played out this morning, you can see the liquidity residing at the high of yesterday has been swept. You can see it has been swept. And after sweeping the liquidity, we go down to the next lower time frame to identify a bearish reversal pattern. If a bearish reversal pattern forms after sweeping liquidity, then we should be looking for sales. Let's go to 4 hour. So you can see the pattern we had on 4 hour after sweeping liquidity. You can see we also had a fair value gap here. That could also be the reason for the retracement. So you can see the candle that formed after price filled the fair value gap and swept liquidity. What we have here is a Marubozu candle, strong bearish candle. From the beginning to the end of that session, the previous 4 hours, the bears were in control. The bears dominated. That tells you that yen is set for sell. So the swept liquidity, and I also think there was a fair value gap here that price came to fill. Let's confirm that on a lower time frame. So you can see on a lower time frame, 1 hour time frame, you can see this fair value gap here. So they didn't just sweep the liquidity, they also what? They also filled the fair value gap. You can see. And after filling the fair value gap, what pattern do we have here? This is an hanging man. So this would have been a good entry to start selling. For those of you in the group, I dropped a call on GJ. I dropped a call on GJ. I said, buy GJ. I hope you took the trade. Okay. I hope you took the trade. So this would have been the best entry to start selling yen. So they filled this gap and they came to sweep the liquidity. Okay, residing at this high. They came to sweep the liquidity. They know after the formation of this candle yesterday, this shooting star candle and all this spinning bottom, they know most retail traders would have executed sell. If you go down to 15 minutes, you would see a bearish reversal pattern at this point. Most retail traders would have executed sell. Most retail traders would have executed sell. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah. So you can see the candlestick pattern that formed here last night. You can see the normal retail traders executed sell at this point. And no, sorry, it's here. Okay, so you can see it here. Reversal pattern. We had star. You can see then this bearish candle. This is a bearish reversal pattern. Most retail traders have executed sell, and their stop losses will be residing at this high. You can see that. So they had to go for that stop loss. You can see. So that's it. So my bias on GJ, sorry, on yen basket. Yen basket is bearish. Yen is bearish. Yen is bearish. Yen is bearish, and it's likely going to come sweep. The next target for yen is likely going to be the low of this candle. Let's see the low of yesterday. Okay, the low of yesterday also, that's in low of yesterday. It's likely it's going to come sweep the low of last Friday. So these are the targets for yen. These are the targets for yen. Okay, so if yen is bearish, you should look for buys on JPY pairs. If yen is bearish, you should look for buys on JPY pairs. So if you see your bullish setup on those pairs, you should buy. You should buy. Okay. If there's any pair you want me to analyze, let me know. I can see you, Mr. Ebenezer, Mr. Isaiah, Mr. Debayo. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. If you have any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. So yen is bearish. So let's see dollar index. Dollar index. Dollar index. Okay. So dollar index I think dollar index is let's start with the daily time frame. So yesterday candle closed strongly bullish. Yesterday candle closed strongly bullish. Told you dollar will be bullish yesterday. Dollar will be bullish yesterday. Made so much money buying the dollar yesterday. I made so much money buying the dollar yesterday. So, but and after the formation of this candle, Marubozu candle time frame, the bulls dominated yesterday, and after the formation of that strong bullish candle, I believe a fair value gap was created. I believe a fair value gap was created on a 4-hour or 1-hour time frame, and I think price has filled that fair value gap. Okay, so on 4-hour, we have this fair value gap. We have this fair value gap, and there was a retracement. You can see this retracement here. Price tested that fair value gap. Can you see that? So price tested that fair value gap this morning, and we have what looks like an hammer here. Now it is still possible for price to come and retest. You can see this low here. The normal rated traders executed buy. Most rated traders have executed buy after the formation of this candle, and their stop losses will be residing at this low. So they might still want to come and fill this gap. They might still want to sweep the liquidity residing at this low, okay, before going bullish. So my expectation on yen dollar index is price to drop to this area. Okay, most likely it's going to come to this area, then go bullish. That's my expectation. You can see this fair value gap here. This fair value gap here has not been filled. It has not been filled. So I see this as a trap for retail traders. Most retail traders now would have started selling. Most retail traders would have started selling because of this. You can see this candlestick pattern. Most retail traders and their stop losses will be residing at this high. So after sweeping the sell side liquidity, they will go for the buy side. So that's my expectation on my bias for the dollar is bullish. My bias for the dollar today is bullish. EU, okay. Euro, USD, okay. But I must see, okay. So let's look at, so if dollar is bullish, we should be looking for sells on GBP USD, Euro USD, AUD USD, NZD USD. So let's start with Euro USD. Euro USD, if Euro USD is bearish, but I don't think it will be to sell Euro USD. Okay, Euro USD should be bearish, but I don't think it will be wise to sell Euro USD. Reason being that yesterday you should have sold Euro USD from this point yesterday. Yeah, this would have been a good entry. This is where the sell started from. Can you see this? This is where the sell started from, this shooting star. So this would have been the best entry for Euro USD. If you miss this entry, you had another opportunity, this retracement. You could have joined the trend. You could have sold from this point. That's the second opportunity. Okay, so selling at the current market price, as far as I'm concerned, is very risky. Another reason for that is this. You can see you can see that price has pulled back to fill this fair value gap. You can see price has pulled back to fill this fair value gap. So it's possible for price to pull back to come and fill this fair value gap or sweep this liquidity. So I would not advise that you buy, you sell Euro USD because price is currently at a discount area. Price is currently at a discount area. If you want to sell Euro USD today, wait for price to sweep this liquidity and probably fill this fair value gap before you sell. That is what I would do. Okay, I would have to wait for price to pull back. So if you apply your Fibonacci from this swing high, to this swing low, you want price to pull back to a premium area before you sell. You cannot sell from the current market price unless you want them to use your stop loss as liquidity. So I'm not looking at Euro USD today. Okay, I'm not looking at Euro USD today. So Euro USD is likely going to pull back to this area before going bearish. I hope that is clear. So my bias for Euro USD is still bearish, but I would love to see price pull back to come and sweep this liquidity and also fill this fair value gap before going bearish. Or price breaks out from this support it has created. If price break out from this support, then I could look for sales. If price breaks out from this support, I could look for sales. Okay, so that's my take on Euro USD. If you want to sell, you either wait for price to pull back to this fair value gap or wait for price to break out from this support. The breakout of this from the support will confirm that we have more supply than demand. So that would be the best time to consider selling Euro USD. I would advise you look at Australian dollar USD, NZD USD. Okay, so you can see these pairs, they've not actually, Australian dollar USD didn't really do much yesterday. So I still see opportunity on Australian dollar USD. There's still opportunity on Australian dollar USD. You could look for sales on Australian dollar USD. So what they did yesterday, we had this fair value gap on Australian dollar USD. You can see. So it's better you sell Australian dollar USD than Euro USD. Euro USD has really done much. Okay, Euro USD has really done much. So you can see we still have all this gap here on Australian dollar USD that has not been filled. You can see all this gap here that has not been filled. So I'd rather sell Australian dollar USD than sell Euro USD. So I would suggest you look at Australian dollar USD instead of Euro USD. Okay, so let's see what we have on 1 hour. So they've swept liquidity residing at this. I think there's a fair value gap that was created here. There's a fair value gap that was created here. That's the reason for this pullback. Let's check 15 minutes. So you can see this fair value gap that was created here on 15 minutes time frame. Can you see this fair value gap? This fair value gap is the reason for this pullback. You can see at this point, there was an attempt to fill this gap at this point. You can see there was an attempt to fill this gap. So what I think they've done this morning was to come and sweep the liquidity. The normal retail traders that have executed sell after the formation of this candle that looks like an angry man and the bearish candle. Most retail traders would have executed sell. Also at this point where we had this doji, most retail traders would have executed sell. All this doji, most retail traders would have executed sell. Their stop losses will be residing at this high, stop losses at this high. Then at this point also, most retail traders, you can see we had a spinning top here. Most retail traders would have executed sell. All their stop losses are residing at this previous high. What have they done with this candle? With the current 15 minutes candle? They've swept all the stop losses residing at this high. They've swept all the stop losses residing at this previous high. That's what they've done. And this is the high of the Asian session. They've swept all the liquidity. So if you see your sell setup, you can take a sell on Australian dollar USD. If you see your sell setup, you can take the trade. For those of you who use my system, who use the zigzag indicator, go on 15 minutes or 5 minutes. If there's a zigzag, okay, if there's a zigzag above this candle, if there's a zigzag above this candle on 15 minutes or 5 minutes, just wait for 1 hour. If the current 1 hour candle closes below this level, then you should sell. Okay, ensure your zigzag indicator is above the high of this candle on 15 minutes or 5 minutes time frame. Okay, then wait for the current 1 hour candle to close below this level before you sell. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. So that's my take on Australian dollar USD. Let's see NZD USD. NZD USD also haven't really done much. Yeah, Aussie USD has not done much. Let's see. Okay, so far today, Australian dollar USD has been bearish. Okay, it's been bearish. Yesterday was bearish. Okay, let's see for our. So you can see the pattern we had yesterday on 4 hour time frame. So we had several bearish reversal pattern. You can see that's the reason NZD has been bearish today. Okay, you can see we had several bearish reversal pattern yesterday. Okay, and let's see. Let's go to 1 hour. Okay, so on 1 hour, what do we have here? So we still have these fair value gaps on 1 hour time frame. Price might want to come and fill these gaps. So these are the areas you should be considering selling. Let's see, there's a fair value gap here. Let's see on 15 minutes time frame. Okay, so on 15 minutes time frame, we have this fair value gap here. Okay, you might wait for price to fill this fair value gap. Okay, you can wait for price to fill this fair value gap. Okay, you can wait for price to fill this fair value gap before selling NZD USD. Before you sell NZD USD, wait for price to fill that fair value gap. That's my take on NZD USD. And buyers on NZD USD still remains bearish. It's bearish. Which other pair do you want me to analyze? Huh? You all can hear me. Can you hear me? If you're yet to give the video a thumbs up, please give it a thumbs up so that others can get to see the video. If you're yet to give this video a thumbs up, please give it a thumbs up. And if it's your first time joining the live stream, please do subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you get notified by YouTube. Ensure you subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you get notified by YouTube. So let's look at gold. Let's look at gold. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? So let's start with daily. So what do we have on gold? Yesterday was bearish. Yesterday was bearish on gold. So we had this fair value gap on gold. Okay, we had this fair value gap on gold, and there were several attempts to fill. There were several attempts to fill this gap. We had the first attempt, the second attempt, the third attempt, which was on Friday. Yeah, on Friday, you can see. And after the formation of this spinning top yesterday, they know most retail traders would have executed sell. This is a spinning top. Most retail traders would have executed sell, and their stop losses will be residing at this high. So they've swept the liquidity that was residing at the high of yesterday and also the high of Friday candle. You can see that they have swept the liquidity. So after sweeping liquidity, you look out for a bearish reversal pattern on 4 hour time frame. You can see what we have on 4 hour at the moment. They've swept the liquidity this morning, and you can see we had a doji. The previous 4 hour candle closed as a doji. The previous 4 hour candle closed as a doji. You can see. So if the current 4 hour candle closes bearish, there is a high probability that gold will sell. There is a high probability that gold will sell, and if gold starts selling, its next target will be this low. And after sweeping the liquidity residing at this low, because most retail traders will have executed buy, right? Because to most retail traders, this is a breakout from resistance. This is a breakout from resistance. So most retail traders would have executed buy because what they see on the chart is a breakout from resistance. right? This is a breakout from a resistance zone. So most retail traders will want to jump in and start buying. Okay. So most retail traders will be buying at the moment. They will be buying at the moment. So there's a high probability they will come and sweep, because this is where most retail traders will have their stop loss. Their stop losses will be residing at this low. Also at this point, their stop losses will be residing at this low. So there's a high probability they will come and sweep the stop losses residing at this low. And also we have this fair value gap that has not been filled. That is what I see playing out on gold. That's what I see playing out on gold between now and Thursday. Between now and Thursday, gold is likely going to come to this level. Mr. Paul, GU, GJ. Okay. Mr. Isaiah, I already dropped the analysis on GJ. I dropped it on the group. I dropped the analysis on GJ this morning. Didn't you watch the video? I dropped the analysis for GJ. Okay. Because I know before the class, GJ might have moved. That's why I dropped that analysis on the group. Because I know GJ might have moved before the class. So let's look at GJ, GBP, JPY. I dropped the analysis. You can see GJ is been bullish. So if you didn't take the trade, I see no reason why you didn't take the trade. I see no reason you've not entered the buy on GJ. I see no reason you haven't. So I told you it's buy. GJ is buy. Let's start with the daily time frame. So yesterday candle closed bullish. We had the high. That's an area of liquidity and the low. So what has happened this morning? They've swept sell side liquidity. They've swept sell side liquidity. I'm sure they are going for buy side liquidity. This is the sell side liquidity. They've swept it. Okay, and they are going, I think they are going for buy side. You can see the candlestick that formed there. This is a Mariposa candle, which formed after sweeping this liquidity. You can see after sweeping the liquidity here, and also swept the liquidity of yesterday. You can see, and we have this support here also. Can you see this support? Okay, so let's see 1 hour. So you can see what we have on 1 hour. I think price pulled back. There was a fair value gap here. I think we had this fair value gap here. Okay, we had this fair value gap. Okay, we had this fair value gap. Okay, we had this fair value gap here. Can you see this fair value gap? Price filled that fair value gap. Can you see it? We had this fair value gap here. Price has filled that fair value gap. So if the current 1 hour closes above that fair value gap, you can join the trend. You can join the trend. If 1 hour candle closes above this fair value gap, you can take the trade. We still have a fair value gap here. Price just tested this fair value gap. You can see price tested this fair value gap. It actually filled it. So the low of this candle can be used as liquidity. The low of this candle can be used as liquidity. So if you are taking this trade, your stop loss must be below the low of this candle. So my stop loss is currently at this level. My stop loss is currently at this level. If price breaks out from this high, from this relative equal highs, I will adjust my stop loss few pips below the low of this candle. Okay, at the moment my stop loss is at the low of this candle. If price breaks out from this high, I would adjust my stop loss to, let's say, 10 pips below the low of this candle, 10 pips below the low of this candle. So my bias for GJ is bullish at the moment, but if price breaks out from this low, then it's likely GJ will go bearish. But at the moment, what I see is buy. You trade what you see. You trade what you see. What I see on the chart now is buy. As a day trader, you trade what you see. You're not trading what is going to happen next week or a month from now. I'm a day trader. So what I'm seeing on the chart right now is buy. Buy. by GJ is likely going to come and sweep this high. Okay, so what can you see here? You can see we had this fair value gap at this point. We had this fair value gap. Can you see this? We had this fair value gap here. There was an attempt to, there has been several attempts to fill this gap. At this point, there was an attempt also to fill it here. And also at this point, there was an attempt. So I see all these, the highs of all these candles are areas of liquidity. You would agree with me, most retail traders have executed sell after the formation of this shooting star. Most would have executed sell after the formation of this doji. Most would have executed sell after the formation of this spinning top. And their stop losses will be residing at the highs of those candles. So there's a high probability they will come sweep these highs before going bearish. So if I want to sell GJ, this is where I'll be considering selling GJ. After this fair value gap gets filled, that is where I'll be considering selling GJ. Remember how price moves. First thing price will do is to take external liquidity, and that was what played out here. It came to sweep this external liquidity. That is the liquidity residing at this previous low. After sweeping external liquidity, it pulls back to fill an internal range liquidity. And the next internal range liquidity is this fair value gap. So I think that's where GJ is heading to. Any question? Is there any other pair you want me to analyze? Let me know. Is there any other pair you want me to analyze? I think I've analyzed GU, right? We've looked at GU. Okay, let's look at GU again. GBP USD. GU should be okay. So yesterday GU was strongly bearish, so I would not advise that you sell GU from the current market price. Remember the things you should look out for when you open your chart before you execute the trade. Things you need to define is where price started dropping, where is price coming from, where is it at the moment, and where is it going to. So on GU, price started selling from this point. I think it was last Friday. Yeah, that was where the sell started from. It was selling. So if you had sold from this point, at this point, this is 1.3525, 3525, and 34. So you would have made close to 90 pips. If you had sold from this point, you would have made close to 90 pips. If you had missed selling from this point, you had another opportunity to sell from this point. Okay, if you had sold from this point, you would have made close to 70 pips. If you missed this opportunity, you had third opportunity here. This was the third opportunity for you to sell. If you had entered sell from this point, you would have made close to 70 pips also. So it will not make sense for you to start selling from the current market price, because those who sold from this point, they've made so much profit. And at this point, right now, most of them are closing their trades. They are closing their trade. And as they close their trade, price will pull back. So there's a high probability GU might pull back to this fair value gap. Okay, GU might pull back. You can see we have this high. There was an attempt to fill this fair value gap. There was an attempt to fill this fair value gap at this point. You can see. So this high now, most retail traders would have executed sell at the early hours of today. Most retail traders would have executed sell. Most would have executed buy after the formation of this engulfing. Many people would have executed buy, and their stop losses would have been the low of this candle. So the first thing they did this morning was to sweep sell side liquidity, and this is the buy side liquidity. This is the buy side liquidity. So there's a high probability they will come and sweep this buy side liquidity before going bearish. So this is where you should be considering selling. If you want to sell GU today, this is where you should be considering selling GU. This is where you should be considering selling GU. Now, if you buy GU from this point, let's look at the risk reward. If you buy GU from this point, 1.3469, 1.3469, and there's a high probability that if price gets to this area, GU could sell. So it means that your TP, if you are buying from this point, your TP will be at this point, which is 3500, and you buy from 3469, 3500. That's about 31 pips. 31 pips, and your stop loss will be at this level. This is about 33 pips. You can see that the risk reward does not make sense. The risk reward does not make sense. That is why you can't buy. You can't buy, okay? Because the risk reward is very low. You'll be risking 30 pips for profit of just 35 pips. That's like 1-to-1 risk reward, which is very poor. So you cannot buy, you cannot sell now. That's what I see on GU. I might be wrong. You might have a contrary view, but that's what I see on GU. You can't buy GU now. You can't buy GU. If you want to buy, you can't buy GU. Okay, you can't buy GU. If price pulls back to this zone, look for your sell setup and sell. Okay, look for your buy setup. You can see this fair value gap here. You can see what played out here. They didn't fill this fair value gap completely. They didn't fill this fair value gap completely. So I see this low, the low of this hammer. The low of this hammer, most retail traders would have executed buy after the formation of this hammer. Most retail traders would have executed buy, and their stop losses will be residing at this low. But you can see that they didn't fill this fair value gap. So this is a trap. This is a trap for retail traders. And also we still have this fair value gap here. You can see we still have this fair value gap on 1 hour. You can see we still have a fair value gap here that has not been filled. Okay, so you wait for price to retrace back to this area. Wait for price to retrace back to this area. Look for your sell, and you can target this area. So if you sell from this point, you could set your stop loss at this high. You could use this high as your stop loss. So let's calculate. Let's assume you execute sell from this point, 1.3494. Your stop loss is 1.3526. That's about 32 pips. 32 pips, and you aim for, let's say you aim for this 3421. So you'll be risking 32 pips for about 70 pips reward. You can see that risk reward makes sense. That risk reward makes a lot of sense. Okay, so that's my take on GJ. That's my take on GJ. I'll drop this on the group, the VIP group. I'm going to drop this, so watch out for this move on GU. Okay, watch out for this move on GU. Bye. I love you. Any question? Do you have any question? If you have any questions, is there any other pair you want me to analyze? Let me know. Do you have any question you want me to analyze? Any pair, sorry, any pair you want me to analyze? Let me know. Let me know. Euro card, okay. Isaiah, Euro card and gold. Mr. Theophilus, it appears he just joined the class. Aussie JPY, okay. Euro card, gold, Aussie JPY. That's from Mr. Patrick. Okay, let's look at Euro card. Euro card. Euro card. Let's start with the. Let me look at the weekly. Okay, let me look at the weekly time frame. Euro card. Okay, so what's playing out here? What's playing out here? So we had this breakout here on Euro card. We had this breakout, and price just retest that breakout yesterday, right? We had this breakout from this resistance area. There was a breakout, and yesterday price came back to retest that level. Okay, so I think what they are trying to do is to sweep after the formation of this candle. After the formation of this candle, this is an hanging man. This is an hanging man, and after the formation of that hanging man, it is likely a fair value gap was created on a lower time frame, daily or 4-hour time frame. Okay, and price is trying to retrace to fill that fair value gap. Okay. Also, let me go back to the weekly. So the low of last week is an area of liquidity. So probably they want to come and sweep this liquidity. So you can see we have this fair value gap on the weekly time frame. Can you see this fair value gap? So it created a low last week. That low is an area of liquidity. So they might want to, you can see that's what they're trying to do right now. I think they've even swept the liquidity residing at the low of last week. I think they've swept that low. So they might also want to fill this fair value gap. They might also want to fill this fair value gap. So my bias based on this weekly, I think EuroCAD is still bullish. Okay, EuroCAD is still bullish. EuroCAD is still bullish. Okay, this was Friday candle. I think this was the low of last week. And also, if you go down to lower time frame, there is a fair value gap here. There's a fair value gap here. Let's confirm. There is a fair value gap here. So if that gap has been filled, you could look for buys on EuroCAD. Look for buys. So you can see the fair value gap we had here. And you see this fair value gap, right? This fair value gap has been filled. This fair value gap has been filled. Okay, you can see this fair value gap has been filled. Now, the reason why price broke out from this fair value gap is because there's still a fair value gap on the lower time frame. That's the reason price broke out from that fair value gap. Let's confirm. So let's go to 1 hour. There's still a fair value gap at this point below this one. Let's see. 1 hour 15 minutes, there's still a fair value gap there. That's the reason for the breakout from the 4-hour fair value gap. Let's see. Okay, so on 1 hour, we have this fair value gap on 1 hour time frame. This is it on 1 hour. So let's see 15 minutes. There is a reason for that breakout on a 4-hour fair value gap. There is a reason. Let's confirm. So if I'm to take any trade on EuroCAD, it will be buy. Can you see it? This is the reason for the breakout from the fair value gap on the 4-hour time frame. That was the reason price broke out. You can see this fair value gap on 15 minutes. You can see. And we also had a resistance here, which became a support. So let's see. I believe price has tested that area. So you should look for buys on EuroCAD. Buy. I'm convinced with what I'm seeing on the charts that EuroCAD is bullish. So you can see price fills that fair value gap. You can see it, right? You can see, can you see this fair value gap here? Can you see this? You see this? Boom. So this would have been a good entry. First entry, if you miss this one, you had a second opportunity here. Okay, so this is a buy. So if you are buying EuroCAD, your stop loss should be at this point, or you could use this low as your stop loss. EuroCAD is bullish. Your stop loss should be here. If you want to buy EuroCAD, your stop loss should be here. Okay, your stop loss should be here. 6082. This is about 36 pips. 36 pips. So if you buy, you could set your TP, let's see, 6174. Yeah, your first TP could be this point. Your first TP should be at this point. That's about 60 pips. 60 pips, yeah, that's about 60 pips, and you are risking about 30 pips. So that's my take on EuroCAD. EuroCAD is bullish. EuroCAD is bullish. EuroCAD is bullish. EuroCAD is bullish. Ebenezer, I told you Asian session is very risky taking trades in Asian session. It is very risky to take trades in Asian session. Most times your stop loss will be used as liquidity in London or in New York session. It's a trap. Don't fall for that trap. Don't fall for that trap. Don't fall for that trap. Okay, don't fall for that trap. Don't trade Asian session. Any setup you see on Asian session most times is a false signal. Is a false signal. That's why I advise that you shouldn't execute trade in Asian session. I saw it when you guys posted it in the community. Some, I think, bought Euro USD. I saw it, but I didn't take the trade. I didn't take the trade. I didn't take the trade. Okay, so we've looked at Euro card. I've analyzed gold. Okay, Australian dollar JPY. Australian dollar JPY. Or let's look at BTC. Let's see BTC. Let's see BTC. Let's see BTC. Bubble. Let's start with so what do we have here on the weekly time frame? So you can see at the moment, price is currently at, we have this fair value gap. Can you see this? So price has just filled a fair value gap. You can see this gap. Price just filled this fair value gap, and also we had this resistance which became a support. You can see. So price is currently at a key support area. Is at a key support area. If I'm going to take any risk on BTC today, it will be a buy and not a sell. It will be a buy and not a sell. If I'm going to take any risk on BTC USD today, it will be a buy. Okay, so this is where price started selling. After the formation of this shooting star, you should have sold BTC. If you didn't sell at this price, you cannot sell at this price. If you insist that what you're seeing on the chart is bearish and you want to sell, you have to wait for price to pull back. You have to wait for price to pull back to this area. You can't sell. Selling BTC is at a very high risk. So you should wait for price to pull back. We had this fair value gap it's created here. We had this fair value gap. Okay, we also have this fair value gap. We also have this fair value gap. Bye. So you have to wait for price to pull back to this area. Look for your sell opportunity at this area or at this area. You can't sell BTC from, you can see this is daily time frame. So if today's candle closes as a bullish reversal pattern, also you can see what we had yesterday. This morning, the first thing they did was to sweep the liquidity residing at this low. You can see the first thing they did was to sweep the liquidity residing at this low. So after that, just look for a bullish reversal pattern. If a bullish reversal pattern forms on 4 hour, you can see the pattern we have on 4 hour. This is a buy setup. This is an hammer. They've swept liquidity. Okay. Probably after the formation of this hammer, let's see, a fair value gap was created. A fair value gap was created. Okay. Yeah, please hold it. So let's see 15 minutes. So where do we have the fair value gap here? So we have this fair value gap. So this fair value gap. If a bullish pattern forms after this gap gets filled, you could look for buy. You could look for buy. Okay, you could look for buy. That's what I see playing out on BTC USD. Okay, or you could apply your Fibonacci from this swing low to swing high. Okay, wait for price to retrace back to a discount area before you buy. Wait for price to retrace back to a discount area. You should be looking for your buys. Okay, because if you go down to lower time frame, I'm sure there's a fair value gap here, and there has been several attempts to fill this fair value gap on. You can see these lows will be used as liquidity. Let's go to 5 minutes. There's a fair value gap Okay, so you can see this fair value gap here. Can you see this fair value gap? There has been several attempts to fill that fair value gap, this fair value gap here. So this gap, you can see. So this would be a very good area to consider buying if you want to buy. You can see there has been several attempts to fill that fair value gap. You can see all these attempts to fill this gap. They didn't fill it. So all these lows, most retail traders have executed buy, all these ones, all these lows will be used as liquidity. So if you want to buy, the good price to buy will be at this area. Okay, so that's my take on Bitcoin. That's my take on Bitcoin. Any question? Do you have any question? You have any question? Let me know. For those of you who are yet to buy my trading course, the price is now 10,000 naira. If you didn't get it at 5,000 naira, you have to pay 10,000 naira to access the course. And when you purchase the course, you have access to the trading community. That's the private community. You have access. You'll be getting trade calls like I did on GJ. Before I execute a trade, I do my analysis and I post it in the group so that others can take the trade. Okay. Now, if you're joining the group, you're not joining the group to follow signals. I teach you to become an independent trader. I'll teach you how to analyze. You become a professional trader. So you don't have to wait for me to be doing the analysis, before you take action. You'll be very good at analyzing the market. Okay. And if you have any questions, probably you want to take a trade, you are not too clear about the trend, you have the opportunity to ask questions. Okay. And as my student, you have the privilege to send me a private message. You can DM me, but if you are not my student, I hardly respond to messages. I hardly respond to messages from those who are not my students. If you are my student, you get my full attention. And we meet every week, at least 3 times in a week. Okay, 3 times in a week. So those are the privileges you would get when you get the course. And you have access to 1 month mentorship, 30 days mentorship. Ask all your questions. Okay, so if you're interested, you can get the course, just 10,000 naira today, and by next week or in 2 weeks' time, I'm taking the price up to 20,000. The value you will get from the course is more than what you're paying for. I'm doing this for passion's sake, not for the money. I'm to charge you to pay me for one-on-one training, you pay nothing less than 100,000. So it's not the money. The only way I can get your attention is for you to pay. People don't appreciate free stuffs. They don't appreciate free stuff. I want to get your attention. I want you to be committed. That's why you're required to pay for the mentorship. I can teach you for free, but I know if I teach you for free, you will not appreciate it. I've taught many people for free, they don't appreciate it. That's why my services say you have to pay to access it. People don't appreciate free stuff. Okay. Any question? Is there any other question? Any other question? I know there will be a fair value gap. I know just by looking at the candlestick pattern. Just by looking at the candlestick pattern, I can tell there's a fair value gap on a lower time frame that price wants to fill. I can tell. Just by looking at the candlestick pattern, I can tell. I can tell. Any question? Ask questions. Ask questions. What are the challenges you're going through in trading? What are the challenges? We're not just coming here to analyze the market. What are the challenges? If you have any question, is it on risk management? Probably you don't know the lot size you would apply on a trade. Is it your trading plan? Is it psychology? Ask questions. Coming here is not just for analysis. Some of you still have challenges calculating the lot size to apply on a trade. So I think there are no more questions. I've attended to all your questions, right? We've analyzed all the pairs you guys requested for. We've done all the analysis, and I think that will be all for this session. If you're interested in getting the course, you want to access the mentorship program, you can send me a message on WhatsApp. You could also find the purchase link on the description space. Okay. If you're interested, you get it. Okay. Don't wait until the price goes up again. Don't wait. Get it now. Get it now. All right. So I want to appreciate you all for your participation, Mr. Ebenezer, Mr. Debayo, Mr. Isaiah, Mr. Paul, Mr. Gbadamosi Gabriel. Who else again? Mr. Theophilos. Mr. Theophilos, Mr. Patrick. Okay. Mr. Patrick. Okay, I think that's all. So I appreciate you all for your participation. I wish you all a profitable trading day. Please ensure you apply proper risk and money management on every trade you execute in the market. Apply your stop loss, please. Apply your stop loss. So I wish you all a profitable trading day. Bye for now.